Good evening and welcome everyone to the Invictus Racing League Tier 2 Grand Prix around Abu Dhabi tonight. My name is Mark. Alongside me in the commentary box is Ellen. Ellen, are you ready for the race?
I certainly am. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mark. And after a fantastic race last week around Brazil, these guys put one hell of a show on, and the weather played its part as well. I am looking forward to seeing what these guys do this week. I can't imagine, though, Mark, we'll be seeing weather play its part here in Abu
No,
Dhabi.
maybe a sandstorm. You never know. Uh, we can expect everything in Abu Dhabi. Hey, Kessa, good evening, Martin, and guten Morgen. Guten Morgen to you then, whatever you want, mate. Good luck for you guys tonight in the race. Ellen, let's take a look at the standings because especially the top of the field is incredibly close after last week in Brazil. Our championship leader Smoke only scored 4 points, but is still leading with 81 points. But Tirach, the Haas driver, is following so close with only a 3 points gap. Do you think it's only a 2-horse race now for the title, or?
I personally think East, you can't rule East yet. I think it's a three-way fight. Ginger's not too far away, but I think he's going to need a win tonight and then rely on others to do a low-scoring race. But Tirak, I think, is one to keep an eye on. He's got 3 wins, as you can see there. That a couple of DNFs which have hindered him, but 3 wins there, and that big win last week for himself, compared to Smoke only getting 4 points, has really put him in the good momentum, hasn't it, against Smoke? And Smoke will know that he cannot afford to have a low-scoring race tonight, because if Tarak does the same, Tarak's going to take over the lead. So it's very close. I think Eastie's just about there, but I think Eastie, same as Smoke, he needs to have a big scoring evening this evening. Tarak, for me, is one to keep an eye on. He knows how to win this season. He's got the most wins this season. And if he can do the same tonight, then we could be looking at a new championship leader.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing he needs to do is win, and then he will take over the lead. So yeah, it's basically the whole grid is so close. Even if you look like the P7 all the way down to, well, let's say P11, it's all the guys are incredibly evenly matched. So I can't wait to see what they can do tonight in Abu Dhabi. But looking at the constructor standings, we see a little bit of a different story here because the Merc guys, Smoke and Rustman, they have a healthy lead. A lead of 15 points to the Haas drivers Tirach and Trems. And then we have Williams in P3 with 108 points. And Merc is looking really strong to claim the constructors title, I think.
I agree, yeah, but as you see, Mercedes, similar to Smoke, Mercedes only scored 5 points last week, whereas Haas scored 15 points, 3 times the amount of points. So Mercedes, I think, are definitely in the driving seat for this Constructors' Championship, but again, similar to Smoke, they cannot afford to have a low-scoring race again this week, because if Haas do the same this week, then suddenly Mercedes will start to feel the pressure. They do have a decent lead right now, but one race similar to last week, and suddenly the pressure's on. I believe it's a 2-horse race in that. Williams, I think, are just a little bit far off. They only scored 7 points last week, didn't they? So they really needed to have scored at least double figures to have kept themselves within a fighting chance. But yeah, Mercedes and Haas, I think, are the two teams, I should say, that will be going for that particular championship. So we're getting into the lobby, Mark. We had a very interesting race last night in the Tier 1 League. No spoilers. Give it a watch if you haven't gave it a watch on our YouTube channel. And hopefully tonight we'll be giving you an amazing qualifying. Because you remember last week's qualifying, Mark? Unbelievable how close that was. There was at least 6 guys on the same time, and it went down to like hundredths of a second could separate 4 cars. And hopefully these guys can do the same again. The qualifying between these are absolutely superb, and you can never predict really who's going to take pole position.
No, they're all so evenly matched in the quali pace. It's and of course around Brazil. Brazil is a track. It's quite a small track, a short track. I mean, so yeah, it's you can see they're often at the times are close together. But let's see what they can do tonight in Abu Dhabi. And it looks to me, Adam, there's no sandstorm tonight.
These guys will they'll be glad there's no sandstorm. So racing at night nearly said in Saudi Arabia. That is completely wrong. In Abu Dhabi, and I was thinking of Saudi Arabia against Argentina earlier for some reason in the World Cup, but that's a different story. So these guys just getting the setups tweaked, getting things ready. We normally see simply he's normally the person first out onto the track. It'd be interesting to see if he is the first one out on the track. I see Smoke. He did this last week, Smoke. Smoke has bolted on a set of medium tyres for his first run, and Louis is the first driver out on track, the McLaren driver Louis. Louis does have some pace. It's just been a difficult season for him, as well as not be able to attend all the races. But the guys are now filtered out. I do like this pit exit mark going under the tunnel, out onto the track. Cars looking great under the lights. We've got a McLaren and 2 Alfa Romeos on the track.
Yeah, I follow them around, and I got to agree with you that pit exit is really good to look at. But if you are driving, it can be scary. It can be scary because this track is so slippery, and that pit exit is even more slippery. And if you get out of the pits on, let's say, cold hard tires, you are going to have a difficult time. But let's see, let's follow the guys around. I believe the first driver out on track now is Simon Palmer. He is warming up his tires to start the first flying lap of the evening. He is in the long left-hander. It's a new corner. It's a good one. I think that we will see a couple of overtaking maneuvers there in the race, and you can do multiple lines through there. There's a lot of grip even on the outside around that corner, so I expect to see some 2 in the bed moment there.
I'm sure if Malc's watching, he would really enjoy that. But yeah, both Mercedes, Smoke on the medium, and Easty Mats also on the medium. So they're not going for a soft run on this first one. But it's interesting to see what they can do compared to the other guys on track. But we've got guys on their flying lap now, so I'll let you follow the first flying lap of the evening.
Let's ride aboard with Simon Palmer. He is coming up to the hairpin now. He is dropping down into third gear, takes a really wide apex, and is early on the throttle there, no wheel spin whatsoever, so that's a good exit there for the Alfa Romeo driver. He's coming up to the chicane between the 2 DRS straights. It's a long straight, so I am looking forward to see what wing settings the drivers are going to use tonight. Are they going for the downforce for sector, mostly sector 3? Or are they going for the lower downforce settings and be flying on the straights? So let's see, Simon is at the end of the second DRS straight. Again in the long left-hander in fourth gear. Takes it nice and stayed nice to the inside line. This is a really difficult braking zone. You need to steer and you need to brake at the same time, and we all know what happens if you do that. You will lock up, so that's an interesting braking zone. He's in the final couple of corners now. He drops to third gear. No short shifting for him, and the first time of the evening is at 24.3.
I'm just keeping an eye on Louis, the McLaren driver, coming around the final corner now. Where's Louis going to post himself? Into third with a 25.8. Michael Lucky goes ahead of him into third with a 24.5, with Kuipers a 24.9. So Simon Palmer at the moment setting the benchmark. I'm just wanting to keep, like I say, an eye on. Oh, Smoke! Wow, our championship lead on the final corner, Mark, has spun it on the final corner. And thankfully, he hit the barrier, but thankfully, there is no significant damage there. Smoke comes across the line with an unrepresentative time there. He just keeps out of the way of the Aston Martin. So not the start he would have wanted. And do you not find that a bit strange? He's gone on to the medium tyre for his first run. Easty Mats is coming round the final corner. This would be more. Oh no, he's. Oh, I don't know if these medium tyres are proving a bit difficult, Mark. But Easty matched into second place, but he was pretty much sideways through that final corner, and I think Easty probably lost 2/10 minimum on that final corner slide, so he could have been even quicker. But that is a mega time, isn't it, on the medium tyre? A 24.4 with Chirac with the new fastest lap with 24.1.
Yeah, that's a really good lap time there for the Williams driver Easty Mats on the medium tires. And if he can do this time on the mediums, what can he do on the soft tires? I'm sure we'll find out soon. Because I can't see any scenario where he isn't going to use the soft tires in this qualifying session. Good evening, Burr. Good evening, JPH. Hope you're all doing good and you are going to enjoy this race. I hope you guys are in for a treat, because then we are as well. Let's see what Joe Hamster can do. He is just entering Sector 2 on his first flying lap. What can the McLaren driver do? He's in 8th gear on the straight. Onto a difficult couple of corners. This chicane, you know, the chicane is a little bit tricky. You need to sacrifice the first one, so you have the better exit out of the second one, because otherwise you might be just a sitting duck on the straight in the race. But Joe has no problems at all. He's doing it really nicely there, and he's in Sector 3. It's a little bit wide in the long left-hander, but there is a lot of grip there, so that's a good thing. He's in Sector 3, he's coming up under the hotel section now. He isn't maximizing the track there, so there's definitely a couple of tenths left for Joe there. But the first time of the evening for Joe Hamster in the McLaren will be a 1:24.4. That's a decent time for Joe. Well done.
It is, and yeah, I agree. And again, fractions are in it. Potentially a P3 there for Joe as well, if he can find a little bit more time. Smoke is carried on these medium tyres, by the way. I expecting him to have pitted after that spin and a slight tap against the wall, but Smoke has carried on, and I'd be curious to see if he finishes this lap off on those medium tyres. Yellow flags are out. He's carrying on, so Smoke, with another run, he's trying to get what he can out of these tyres and puts himself into P10 with a 25.2. He's now done 3 laps on the mediums. And from your opinion, Mark, what would you see the benefit of doing these runs on the mediums, apart from maybe familiarising yourself with the track?
That's a really good question. Yeah, maybe to familiarise yourself with the track. Maybe they are trying to save a set of softs for the race. But I honestly don't know. You know, you get fresh tires to start in the race as well, and I can't see any of the drivers starting the race or driving in the race on the soft tires, except if there's a safety car. So yeah, honestly I don't know. It's a good question. But for now, I'm riding about with Simply, and he had a really good Sector 1. He was purple there, so let's see what he can do now. He's coming across the line, and it will be a 24.5. He lost a couple of tenths there during the lap, so that's unfortunate for him. But he's still in the top 10. So both the Alpha Tauris are combined together in P9 and P10 at the moment. Let's see what Simon can do. He is in second place at the moment, and I believe he is on a hot lap. So let's ride with him. DRS is open. Is he on a hot lap though? He is not. No, he backed out of it. Sorry for that.
I believe Sunboy is on a hot lap, Mark. He's not set a time yet, so I don't know if you want to jump on board with Sunboy. Yet to set a time, as I say, him and Enos not on the time sheets just yet. So Sunboy, he's always got a fast lap in him, so it'd be interesting to see on his first flying run, as long as he keeps it clean and doesn't invalidate, it'd be interesting to see where he can slot his Alpine car. Currently down in P16. Can he get himself within that top 10?
Let's see what he can do. He's just entered Sector 3. It's looking good so far. Maximizes the track there into the tricky braking zone. I don't see any form of a lock up, so that's nicely done there by Sunboy. Underneath the hotel, maximizes the track there as well. And the final corner, and he will be crossing the line in a 1:24.2 into P3. That's a good lap.
That is a good lap, and Sunboy, again, not much in it, is there, between him and pole man? It's just about a tenth, so Sunboy is certainly well within the opportunity to fight for this pole position. But Easty Mats is now on a set of soft tyres, Mark, and he's nearly 2/10. He's more than 2/10 up now into the second sector. So Easty Mats, if he keeps going like this, he's going to be very near to the top, if not at the very top. So coming up to the very tricky final sector here in Abu Dhabi under the hotel section. I always struggle around these parts. You can easily lose time. You can easily invalidate around here if you drift wide. And final few corners for Easty. That's the Williams driver coming up to the final corner. What can he do? He set a very good lap as Ginger goes fastest. But what can Easty do? Easty beats that with a 23.8 mark. That is an amazing lap from Easty.
Yeah, that's a really strong lap time with 23.8. That's really impressive, and it will be a really difficult time to beat for any of the drivers, I think. Maybe Tirach thinks otherwise. He is on the track right now, and he had the professional pole, and I'm pretty sure he wants to get it back. So let's see if Tirach is on a good lap, and he is on a good lap. He's 2/10 faster than his own time at the moment. So he will be looking to be around the same time as Easty Mets, I think. So he is just in sector 3 now. He's coming up to the hotel. How can he do this? It looks good to me. So it's all about the final corner now for Tirach. Can he claim the professional pole back? He is coming to the line, and it will be at 23.8. Oh, that's so close.
Wow, that is incredibly close. And now the pressure mark is on Smoke. He's down in P14, and he's just got off the track. Oh dear. At the chicane, he's gone off the track. He was nearly 3/10 up on his previous time. Smoke on the soft tyres. Pressure is on, Mark. 5 minutes on the clock. Our championship leader is down in P14, whereas his rivals are in first and second place. Wow, things could become very difficult for Smoke this evening if he cannot nail a lap this evening.
And don't forget about Ginger Tiger, who is in 4th in the standings as well, and he is in P3 at the moment. So if Smoke isn't scoring any points, he will lose a lot of positions, I'm afraid. We entered just the final 5 minutes of this qualifying session. I think, El, this is a good time to ask all of our viewers, who do you think will get the pole position? Will Easty claim this professional pole into a full pole position, or is someone else able to get a better lap time? Let us know in the comments. What do you think, El?
Oh, that's a. Oh, as Joe Hamster has just spun it in the third sector, just coming out of the hotel section. He's just allowing the cars to come past. No issues there, I don't believe, for Joe. I don't think he tagged the wall or anything, so he'll be able to come into the pits, and he gets away with that one. And just to go back to your question, that is a good question, Mark, because it's hard to pick, really. These guys are always giving us really close qualifying, and for me, I'm gonna probably say it's between the top 3 right now. I know Martin is pretty much on the same time as Ginger Tiger. I just feel like the top 3 are the ones who maybe will get that pole position. I know it might sound like I'm sitting on the fence, but I think Easty might still have a bit of time in him, but I also think Tirach will as well. I believe I've just seen a Mercedes go out and track. Was that Smoke? No, it wasn't. It was Russman. to Smoke back into the pits, and Russman, his teammate, down in 10th. So it's not been a good night, really, has it, for Mercedes so far?
No, it really hasn't. So maybe they are feeling the pressure. They need to perform well. So that might be the cause of the P10 and the P14 at the moment. But I'm sure they both get another lap in, and if they can nail that lap, it's all just forgotten about, and we will enter the race. So let's see what they can do. Right now I'm riding aboard with Trems. Trems is at the moment in P15, but he is doing an improvement at the moment as we speak. So he's coming up to the start-finish line. And he will improve to a 124.4 into P10. Good lap time there from Trems. Well done. Good improvement.
Nice. And that's exactly what Haas need, isn't it? They've already got one of their cars right up the sharp end, and now they've got another one into the top 10, but I have a feeling he might drop out of the top 10 with the guys below. Probably going to go quicker. I'm just keeping an eye on Louis in P16 in the McLaren. His teammate Joe in the top 10 right now in P8. Louis was fractionally down in the first sector on his current fastest time. He's just coming up towards the end of the second sector, and he's nearly 4/10 up, Louis, in the second sector. So he's on a 25.8, so he's going to have to find a lot more time, I believe, in the final sector to get anywhere near the top 10. But it's still an improvement, which you always want as a driver when you're trying to set your fastest lap. So Louis coming around the final few corners now. Can he improve any more than what he's currently done in a P16? Final corner for Louis. 1 minute 30 on the clock, so this will probably be his last run to the line. And he does improve, but it doesn't improve him on position. He stays P16. Meanwhile, Mark, we've got Smoke. He's now out there. He's about to go for his final run. He's in P15. What can Smoke do?
Yeah, he needs to find an awful lot of time to get closer to his title rivals. He is going to start his lap right now. Let's see what he can do. Can he get himself into the battle for the championship on this track tonight? He is in sector 1. Nice and tidy through there. Nothing wrong, and he's 3/10 up on his own time in sector 3. That's what you want to see. But he needs to find a lot more. Meanwhile, Martin did a prediction. He says the top 3 will stay the same like this. Well, let's see if he's correct. Smoke, how is his second sector? We will soon find out after the chicane onto the next straight. That's where the second sector is ending and where the third one will take over. So curious to see what he will do. But he needs to find almost a second to be in contention. He is almost 6/10 up on his time. So he needs to find around 4/10 to be in contention. To be in around the top 5, I guess. So he needs to find around 4/10. Can Smoke find this 10th he needs? He needs to get this. Otherwise he just makes his own life really, really difficult. He's in the final couple of corners. 2 corners left for Smoke to do. Final corner. And he will be crossing the line. Can he do it, the Merc driver? Yes, he can. The 24 flat. That's a really good strong time with all the pressure in P4.
Tarak is fractionally up. He could steal pole position here to the line. Tarak goes with a 23.7. I think Eastimats is not going any quicker. Eastimats, I believe, was slow in first sector. He's coming up to the end of the second sector, and he's fractionally down in the second sector. He's got to find time in the final sector if he wants to take that pole position back from Tarak. Ginger Tiger improved but stays P4 in 23.9. So what can Eastimats do here, Mark? He's into the hotel sector now. Can Eastimats in the final 2 corners find the time he needs to steal pole position from Tarak? Final corner, here comes Eastimats to line. He's off the track. He's not done it. Oh.
Kessa into P2. That's a strong lap time as well from Kessa with a 23.7. We see some really fast lap times here tonight.
Wow. And there is, no disrespect to Kessa there, but I am quite shocked there, to be honest. I honestly thought it was going to be a head-to-head battle between Tarak and Easty. Easty's just struggled to get the time he needed, and Keza, just out of nowhere, just swooped in and stole that second place, that front row place off of Eastimax. But big congratulations to Tirak. He didn't need to find much, but it was enough, wasn't it, to take that pole position. Haas on pole, but I have to say, Smoke in P7, I think he'll be a hugely relieved man, because at one point he was P16 and it was looking quite desperate. So he's in the top 10. He can certainly fight from that position.
Definitely. It's a long race, so everything to win for him now. But here we go. This is the qualifying result from the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in the IRL Tier 2 race. We see Tirak taking the pole position with a 23.7. Kessa in P2. Then we see Eastimax in P3, Ginger Tiger P4, Michael Lutke in the Red Bull P5, Simply in P6, Smokes in P7, Esteban Martin P8, Simon Palmer in P9. I think he would have hoped for a little bit more with his teammate in P2. Sunboy P10, Joe in P11, Trems P12, Rusman 13, JP 14, Kuipers in P15, Louis in 16th, and ALB Enos in P17. Oh, I think Kuipers was hoping for a little bit more, because if you remember as well, El, he won the Brazilian Grand Prix, but unfortunately for him, after some stewards' inquiries, he lost the race win. But he won the race on track, and then to start the next one at the back of the grid, that's not what you expected.
No, it's not, and he's shown tremendous pace, didn't he, in those really tricky conditions around Brazil. So, as you say, he was probably hoping for a lot better evening. Maybe this track just doesn't suit him, so he'll be hoping to go forward, and he can't really do much worse than how qualifying's gone. So we're just moments away, Mark, from getting underway. Tirak, one of the championship contenders, in first place. He'll be rubbing his hands, I can imagine, the fact that he's ahead of his championship rivals, and to see Smoke down in P7 as well. There's a big opportunity here for Tirak to take the lead of this championship with just 2 races to go after tonight. He just needs a clean start, doesn't he? And if he can get a clean start and build that second gap, Tirak, as we've seen, is very good when he leads races. Can he do it tonight as well?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out soon. And indeed, as soon as Tirak gets the free air in front of him and he creates the gap behind him, most of the time you are not going to see him again until after the race. So let's see if he can even have a good start, because the start will be crucial for him. He needs to stay in front. Let's see, and Kessa is just saying he did a 23.6 in the lobby before in practices. It's so close. Yeah, it really is. And you know, once you get into the official qualifying session, there's always a little bit more pressure than in just a practice one. So that might be just a 110, but it's an amazing lap time, and let's see, all to fight for from that position, I guess.
Yeah, most definitely, Mark. All to fight for, and based on what Kez has just said, it'd be interesting to see what his race pace is like then. And if his race pace is as good as his quali pace around here, then Tirak is going to not have it all his own way. We've seen him at Imola and other tracks where he has got the lead and dominated. Kez will be hoping to hang on to the back of him, or at least jump him at the start and take the lead of this race as well. It'd be very interesting if Keza can do that. Just 15 seconds on the clock, Mark. I'm really excited for
this. Me too. This is going to be a really good one, I think. And well, let's get ready, because the Invictus Racing League Tier 2 race is about to start. Brought to you in partnership with gridfinder.com. Have a good seat and enjoy. We are going to the grid. The lights go on. It's 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. And we are go. We are underway, and it seems to me, from my perspective, that Tirak is having a really good start, and he will be the guy leading this race. We see the Aston Martin of Ginger Tiger having a bit of struggles on the curbs there, and he is still into P4, so that's good. Louis, unfortunately, is left behind at turn 1, so that's unfortunate for the McLaren driver, but let's stay at the front. What can Tirak do? Ooh, we already see a tree moment there. in the hairpin at the middle of the field. But it looks to me like T-Rex is trying to break away as soon as possible. The gap is already opened up to half a second, and Kessa and East teammates needs to stay close now. Ooh, a bit of contact there between Simon and Simply. Just a gentle tap on the rear. They are side by side. And Simply is still in front, but Simon is so incredibly close. He's almost pushing the Alpha Tower in front of him. But he needs to be careful as well, because Michael Lutke is only with 2.5 tenths behind him.
Interesting strategy call at the front, Mark. Tirak is on the mediums, whereas Keza is on the hard tyre. Easty Matt's also on the medium. The only hard runners we've got are Keza, Smoke, Joe Hamster, Sunboy, SFR Martin, Kuipers, and Louis at the back. So Keza opted to start on those hard tyres, which will be harder to fire up early on in this race, so he'll be hoping to hang on to the back of the Haas car ahead. But that second gap has already crept up, and Eastermats is putting pressure on Keza. But we've got a spinner, and it's Joe, unfortunately. Joe, and he's got no front wing either, so I don't know if he's had contact with the wall or contact with the driver. I believe it must be with the wall somewhere. So unfortunately, it's McLaren, both McLarens dead last. But going back to the front, Easty Mats will see Keza's on those hard tyres and will be wanting to get past as quick as possible. He does not want to get held up by this Alfa Romeo.
No, not at all. Easty Mats needs to get the move done on Keza and close the gap to Tirak again, because the gap is already open up above the second, so there won't be any DRS as it is right now. Can Easty actually close down enough? He is having a difficult time to stay close, I think. And that's really impressive from Kessa. Now we have here a battle for P5 as well. And Simply only just holds on to the DRS at the moment. And he needs to get it on the next DRS straight. Otherwise, he might be in trouble with all the guys behind him. Especially Simon Palmer and Michael Lutke. They are really close. And as we can see, the DRS is enabled now. So I think we will see some overtakes now on the next DRS straight. Might be we see the overtake from Easty Mats as well, because the gap is only 0.5 of a second. And he is closing it down. He is really looking to get a good exit here. And it will be interesting to see if he actually tries to do the overtake on the first straight, or is he going to wait for the second one. Because if you do it here on the first straight, the car you just overtaken will get the DRS on the second one. We see Simon getting the move down on Simply, but this will be what I just said. Simply will have the DRS now on Simon, but Simon, luckily for him, has the DRS on Ginger Tiger. And here we go, El. Easty Mats into P2.
Yeah.
With the help of the DRS, and he got the move done on Kessa, but Kessa is staying close. We actually see a bit of a defending line there from Easty Mats. Oh, that was close. Almost contact between the two drivers, but all is well at the moment.
Meanwhile, further down, Trems has overtaken Smoke for P8. So if it stays as it is right now, I know it's very early on, Mark, but if it stays as it is right now, Tirak will take the lead of the championship, but Easty Mats will go ahead of him as well. Simply has spun on the final corner, Mark. Simply has spun. He's all out of shape there, hopefully not putting anybody off. So Simply has dropped all the way down to P15 behind his teammates. So that has promoted Smoke up to P8. But Smoke, if it stays like it is right now, Tirak will take the lead of this championship, and Easty will go into second place. So Smoke will drop down to third in the championship, but it won't be by much. Tirak will be up onto 93 points. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I don't see who that's for. It's quickly gone away, but Louis is having more trouble. But interesting to note, Mark, Easty has overtaken Keza, but Easty hasn't shook Keza off yet, and Keza's staying within DRS, and Keza's not giving this position just yet. He's not going to be close enough to get the move done, but if he can hang on to the back of Easty and keep that DRS, then it'll make it really difficult for Ginger Tiger to be able to form an attack in P4 behind.
Yeah, definitely, and all the guys behind us started to catch now as well. We see Ginger Tiger is there. Simon is just on the edge to get DRS on Ginger Tiger, so he will be looking to get into that group of drivers there as well. So we could see a multiple car battle for the podium places here already at the opening stages of this race. That's always what you want to see, but let's see what can Sunboy do, because Sunboy is closing in a little bit there on Russman, and we see yellow in sector 1. Who is that? It's Michael Lutke. Michael has spun the car and he is pointing in the wrong direction, and that's not what you want for the Red Bull driver. That's unfortunate, and he has lost his front wing, so he will need to do the whole lap without a front wing, and he will need to do the pit stop to replace it as well. He will be hoping for a safety car.
That's frustrating for Michael, because he started off the race well. He was nicely in P6 and hanging on to the battle at the front. So as Russman got an issue there. Russman all out of shape out of the chicane there. He was onto the back of his teammate, but that's allowed Sunboy to say thank you very much. Sunboy into P8. He's not going to have too many goes at trying to overtake Russman, and he just got free pass basically. Sunboy into P8. He's also on the hard tyre, so he'll be looking to try and get a Smoke ahead in P7. Smoke hanging on to the back of Trems on those medium tyres. But it's been a good start for Tirac, hasn't it? It's almost a 2-second gap, and East is not since he's overtaken Keza. Eastie's not really being able to close in on track, but as we see there, Mark, Ginger Tiger now into P3. He's got ahead of Keza.
Yeah, he got the move done, and it was really close to see a three-way battle there. But they all thought better of it, so maybe in the upcoming DRS race we will see some battles here, because Simon is there now as well with 410s behind his own teammate. Will we see some team orders here, because the hard tires, I'm pretty sure, will still be a bit slower than the mediums from Simon. But I think Ginger is the one to look at the overtake. He's on the inside of Easty. Who will get the DRS on the final DRS rate? It will be Ginger Tiger, because Easty is still in front. Can Ginger get the move done? He's trying to do it around the outside. Simon, meanwhile, gets a place from Kessa. Ginger Tiger late on the braking. Ooh, a little bit too late. I think he overshoots the corner. And Easy's back, and he closes the door for Ginger Tiger. Good racing there for both drivers, and just a small mistake from Ginger Tiger cost him this P2 at the moment in the race, I think.
Unfortunately, the other Alpha Tauri driver of Simply 90 has had a moment, and he's collected the wall and lost the majority of his right hand side of his front wing, so Simply is gonna have to pit. The majority of that right end of the front wing is gone, so Simply down in P14, also having a tough night, and the Alpha Tauri team just having a night to forget this evening. That's a real shame for them. Meanwhile, a little bit further down, Trems hasn't really been able to get involved in this battle for the top 5, and he's just about keeping Smoke behind him around a second. Smoke, though, be hoping to stay within that DRS, because Sunboy's trying his hardest to get onto the back of that Mercedes, but Russman not giving up after making that small mistake, not giving up, getting past, repassing Sunboy in P9. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3, and it's Louis again. Louis having yet another spin this evening. We go back to the front, and here comes Simon Palmer, Mark, on Ginger Tiger.
Yeah, he's trying to get the move done around the outside. Ooh, there was a bit of wheel banging there, I think. Ginger tries to stay there. Whoa, who will get the position here? They are really close together, but Simon gets the move done up to P3. It's really interesting to see, because the DRS from Ginger Tiger on the first DRS zone didn't open, and we see a first retirement of the race, and that's Louis, I believe, in the pits. Yeah. He thought better of it and decided to call it a day. Let's get back to the front of this race, because this whole battle, L, has really been in the favor for Tirach. Because the gap is almost 3 seconds now. He almost gained a full second because the cars behind him are fighting for position.
Yeah, he'll be loving this. And I was thinking Easty Mats might have an opportunity to try and build a gap here, seeing Simon, Ginger and Keza all squabbling for 3rd place. But no, Easty Mats has not really been able to. And Simon Palmer's now the latest guy to try and attack Easty for 2nd place. He's thinking better of it there. Late on the brakes, a little deep there from Simon, but it shouldn't affect him too much. He has an opportunity to have a go at Easty, but I think Ginger Tiger is probably closer to Simon than Simon is to Easty. Simon, I think, is probably a bit too far away to challenge Easty, and so the same for Ginger Tiger. So no position swapped there. It made me laugh, Mark, on the previous lap, that battle between Ginger and Simon. I was right on board with Ginger Tiger, and the arm was coming out of the cockpit. What are you doing? What are you doing? And the banging of the wheels between the two of them. I think it was hard racing, but ultimately pretty fair, and Simon Palmer held on to that. But yeah, this is fantastic to watch, isn't it? And Keza, you can't rule Keza out. He's down in P5, and he'd be frustrated he's down in P5, but look how close he is to P2. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3, and that is SFR Martin. Last week's podium sitter, not having a good race, he's coming into pits now. He's got front end plate, right end plate missing as well, so it'll drop him further down the order as well, as he's now picked up speeding penalty as well. And he's retired. Unfortunately for Martin, he's retired from the session. That's a shame for Martin, because he's a good racer. Have we got a VSC, Mark? I think we've got a VSC.
Or a full car safety car. It's always difficult to see for us commentators on this game.
I don't see the yellow. Yeah, I don't see the yellow dot on the mini map. So I believe it is a VSC, which I don't know if it was SFR Martin was accident what caused that. I'm not sure, but we do have a VSC. Time for us just to catch his breath a little bit there, Mark. And yeah, it's been a frenetic race, but Tirach. Oh dear, that's a shame for McAloy, but we're back green again. Tirach lost a bit of time through that though. He noticed that it was almost 3 seconds. He lost about 3/10 to Easty there. And Simon Palmer, I believe, also lost a bit of time to Easty. So yeah, a couple of guys didn't react quite quickly to that track going back green.
I think Simon was really lucky with that. Oh, Easty has lost the car. Easty has spun the car around, and there's no damage whatsoever, but he is right in the middle of the racing line. He gets out of the way, that's good to see, but he will be dropping a lot of positions all the way down to P9. Oh, that's unlucky for him. He was doing really well. As I was just going to say, that Simon was really lucky with the VSC, because Ginger Tiger was so close behind him on the DRS straight. And then there was the VSC, so he couldn't do the overtake. But he will have another shot, and they are coming up to the hairpin right now onto the first DRS straight, so Ginger can close the gap down on this first straight, and he will have an overtaking opportunity at the second one, I think. So let's see what the Aston Martin driver can do. Can he close the gap down now? Or is Simon maybe emptying his full ERS battery to stay in front?
I think, Mark, the hard tyres are starting to now be favourable for those who started on them. Keza is looking like he's gaining pace. Smoke is gaining pace. Sunboy is gaining pace. Smoke was just over a second behind Trems, and now he's really putting the pressure on Trems. 3/10, 2/10, almost a tenth there. Not quite enough for Smoke to get the move done. Sunboy following as well. So these hard tyres now are starting to come alive. Keza also right onto the back of Ginger. So the hard tyre drivers are starting to find pace and starting to come alive in this race. Smoke now will start to hopefully get some moves done and push forward. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1 again. I think, yes, it's for the other McLaren. That is Joe Hansen. So McLaren's not having a good night this evening, Mark. But yeah, the hard tyre runners are looking like they're in the zone right now.
Definitely, and the gap between Ginger Tiger and Kessa is getting down. There's someone else lost it there as well. It's the Red Bull driver, Michael Lutke, I think. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
He is having a difficult race. Same goes for the McLaren drivers, of course. But Louis already DNFing, and Joe, he is who has multiple spins already. So that's unlucky for them. But look at Keza. He is so close now to Ginger Tiger. And I think we see a move here for Smoke on Trams. Oh, he was trying for it. Let's go quickly back to Keza on this straight. Because we could maybe see a double move here if the Alfa Romeos work together. They are not doing that. So Ginger Tiger is still in front. Wow, well done from Ginger Tiger. I did not expect that from him.
And well done as well from Trems. Trems holding on here, and he's starting to frustrate the guys behind. You've got Smoke, Sunboy and Russman all pressuring that Haas car in P5 right now. Smoke thought he got the move done, but Trems held on nicely. Joe Hamster has retired from the session, so it's a double DNF for the McLaren team. Michael Lucky is now retired as well. Trems is really struggling. Ginger Tiger into the pits though, Mark. Ginger Tiger into pits, that'll promote the likes of Trems and Smoke and everybody else below up a place for now, but Trems hanging on here. He's looking like he's struggling through some of these corners. Smoke, I think it's going to be a matter of when, not if, he gets this move done. Trems has dropped nearly 5.5 seconds to Keza ahead. So here we go, Mark. Can Smoke get this move done now? He's dragging along some boy with him. He's got to make sure he can get this move done cleanly and doesn't allow Sunboy an opportunity to get past him. So what Russman did early in the race. Smoke jinking to the left, just trying to put Trems off, but now is opportunity because Trems has gone deep into that hairpin. So here we go. Smoke now, has he got the opportunity? DRS enabled, he's using all his batteries, got barely any of it left now. So is Trems. Look at the red light is blinking. Here comes Smoke down the inside. Gets the move done. Has he got the move done, Trems? I think touch that's allowed Sunboy through. I don't know if they touched there, Mark, but Trems in one corner has lost two places. Smoke.
I'm afraid they did. Smoke, I believe, from what I've seen, understeered into Trems and put Trems off the racing line, which promotes Sunboy through as well. And that's really good for Sunboy, of course, but that's not as good for the Mercedes drivers. And Trems and Russman both entering the pits now. Same for Tirach and Simon Palmer. So that means Keza is in the lead of this race so far. Let's see where everyone comes out. And the pit exit on the cold tires will be crucial. Let's see if Tirach can get it right. He is just coming out of the pits. And where will he be? He will be in P4 with only a 9-second gap. Of course, he will struggle on his first lap, but then his tires will be the faster ones near to the end.
It's not really worked out so well for Ginger Tiger against Simon Palmer. Ginger Tiger and Simon Palmer and Kuiper's having a little battle on track at the moment. But Ginger Tiger, he pitted earlier, didn't he? But he's come out a bit further back from Simon Palmer than he probably anticipated. So Simon Palmer back out in front. Tarak also comfortably back out in front. But what now can Keza do? Out in the lead, almost 6-second lead to Smoke behind. Smoke under massive pressure here, Mark, from Sunboy. 0.2 of a second under the hotel. Smoke will be feeling the pressure and he'll be thinking, let's just race. Let's not squabble, fight for issues. Let's just race and try and catch after Keza. But Sunboy wants to get past that Mercedes, doesn't he? So they're coming across the line. I think Keza, Mark, is going to be one to watch here. He's looked fast so far on those hard tyres, and I think when he pits for mediums, he could be really fast at the end of this race.
Definitely, he will be one to watch. I just happened to see the differences in ERS levels between Sunboy and Smoke. And Smoke is already below the 20% mark, while Sunboy is around the 60%. So Sunboy just might be saving his ERS up a little bit for later on in the race. Oh, here we go.
Here we go indeed, and there you go. Used his ERS to perfection, but now will the comeback from Smoke happen here? He's got the move done into the first, the end of the first DRS, but now can Smoke come back at him in the second DRS phase? But no, I don't think Smoke's quite got enough. No, he hasn't. Not quite got enough legs there to get past back past the Alpine. So the Alpine up into second place. Sunboy now will be thinking, can I build a gap to Smoke now and go after Keza?
Definitely, it's a good move for Sunboy. And Ginger Tiger, meanwhile, is under pressure for Kuipers on the old hard tires. But that's a bit surprising to see, because Ginger Tiger has his hard tires already for around 2 laps, so they should be up to a good temperature.
Now, Kuipers was ahead of Ginger Tiger. Sorry to correct you there, Mark. Kuipers was ahead of Ginger Tiger. Simon Palmer has lost it. Oh, outside, after the hotel section in Sector 3, Mark. Simon Palmer has lost the car. I don't know if he's got damage. Is he going to come into the pits?
No, he is not.
No, he's not. So Simon Palmer has dropped down to P9. That's a real shame, because Simon Palmer was driving well up to that point. But yeah, Ginger Tiger was behind Kuipers, and he got the move done on Kuipers. That's why they ended up as close as they was.
That explains. But as Awaken is just saying in the chat, Ginger Tiger with some low ERS, it looks like. I agree. I saw the red light blinking as well. So I've already seen a couple of drivers with pretty low ERS levels for this stage in the race. So that's if you can manage your ERS well, like we've seen with Sunboy, that might be really beneficial near to the end of this race. Can we see a move here from Trems on Simon Palmer, maybe on the second DRS straight? It's all about the traction here. Simon is a bit wobbling there, but so is Trems. Also a red light blinker for Simon. The Trems don't have really much ERS to play with as well. So he is closing him down, but just not by enough to get a move done. So he will... Ooh, Simon almost lost the car there. He was all the way wide on the curb. He was sideways a bit there. But he kept the car on the track, so that's good for Simon. And he needs to stay calm and patient now, because otherwise this track will bite you. And he needs to stay patient now, stay calm, and go on with the race, because the pace he was showing earlier was really strong.
You talk about strong pace, Mark. Sunboy, since he's overtaken Smoke, has took 7/10 of a second out of Keza's lead. Was around 6 seconds. It's now 5.1, 5.2 seconds.
Trems has just lost the car. It was a complete spin, but if I'm correct, luckily for him, there is no damage to the Haas car. Sorry to interrupt you there, Adam.
No, it's fine. It's always fine. Yeah, as I was saying, Sunboy is taking time out of Keza, but Smoke is trying his hardest to come back at Sunboy here, and not quite enough to get the move done. But yeah, Sunboy is showing good pace here. I don't know if Keza is just saving a bit of battery and trying to stretch the tyres out a bit more here, but it's dipped now to 4.9 seconds. Keza's into the pits. So Keza, our current race leader, into pits. What does Sunboy do? Sunboy stays out. Smoke also pits. So now Sunboy, who seemingly has good pace, better pace than Keza at this point, now takes the lead of this race. Where is Keza and Smoke going to filter out?
This will be interesting to see, and I think Sunboy would need to do one mega lap right now and then go into the pits, because otherwise the undercut will be working for the other two drivers on the medium tires. So I think this will be the crucial lap for Sunboy if he wants to stay in contention of a really strong finishing position. But meanwhile, he got Tirach behind him with only 6 seconds, but Tirach, of course, is on the hard tires. Sunboy and Keza will be on the mediums.
Wow. Smoke and Simon Palmer. Smoke come out of the pits side by side with Simon Palmer. Simon Palmer trying his hardest to get past the Mercedes. Here comes Simon Palmer now. Can he get any moves done on Smoke? Smoke trying to get temperature up on those medium tyres. But I think Simon Palmer just not quite got enough to get the move done there. But we will have DRS on Smoke this time. But I think Smoke might just have enough to fend offside. That was so close, Mark. So close. Coming out of the pit exit, Smoke and Simon Palmer, they could not have been much closer to banging wheels and potentially taking each other out. That was incredibly close. And fair driving from the parents. Sunboy, meanwhile, Mark, is into the pits
and this
now.
will be crucial for him where he gets out on track. And while we find that out, if you're watching this right now and you like what you see and you like the racing and all the drivers are doing for you guys, make sure to like this stream, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, so please consider it. It's much appreciated. But let's go back to the track where Sunboy is about to exit the pits. Oh, and we see a spin.
Simon Palmer. Yeah, it's Simon Palmer. It's just struggle. Oh wow, look at very similar to Simon Palmer and Smoke on the previous lap. Sunboy has come out right next to Smoke, and this is going to be a battle now because Sunboy, who was ahead of Smoke has got the undercut working. So what are these two going to do now on those medium tyres? Smoke just 1.5 seconds behind Easty in 5th, but these guys on the medium tyres, Mark, are going to make it a very interesting last 11 laps. What can they do? Keza in 2nd place on medium tyres, 6 seconds behind track. Can he have any impression on track ahead?
Yeah, the gap is only 6 seconds, and he is on fresh mediums. So there will be quite a bit of a pace difference, I think, but 6 seconds, yeah. He's running out of laps, of course, so he needs to get a move on. So it will be interesting to see if he can get it done before the race ends. Meanwhile, Easty Match is following Russman pretty close now. And somehow both of the Mercedes guys are back into the front of this race. Russman in P4, Smoke into P6, so they are doing that really well. They are just really consistent and steady in the races.
I'm wondering, Mark, whether Russman is doing his teammate a favour here. Easty Max was 1.4 seconds ahead of Smoke on the end of the last lap. Smoke has got within DRS of Easty Max now, so I wonder if there's a bit of team play happening here from Russman, and why not? Russman knows that Smoke's in the fight for a championship against Easty Max. Got a yellow flag in sector 3. I think it's an AlphaTauri, but just focusing on this, this is going to be really close here. Russman in 4th, as you say, runs deep into that chicane, and this is going to give Easty Max a huge opportunity to get past the Mercedes now. The red light blinking on the back of Mercedes. Here comes Easty Max past Russman. This is not exactly what Russman wanted, and that's an easy move for Easty Max into P4. What does Russman do here though, Mark? Surely he lets his teammate pass here and try to go after Easty Max.
Yeah, that might be the best thing to do, but it's always difficult to let your teammate by if you think you have to pace yourself as well. But in this case, this is the best thing to do, I think, for the Mercedes boys who are in the fight for the constructors, and of course Smoke for the drivers as well. Because Sunboy is catching really fast, so Russman could be a really big help for Smoke if you can keep Sunboy behind for a couple of laps. But let's see if the Merc guys are working together like that.
I have to say, Mark, the fight for the lead is on. Look at that gap between Keza and Tirat. It was 6 seconds a few laps ago. It's 3.9 seconds now with 9 laps to go. The fight is on for that lead. Keza is motoring, isn't he, right now? Keza looks like a man possessed. He looks like the fastest car on track. And I think Tarak will start to sweat a bit seeing that time fall. And there we go. Smoke. Oh, Russman's got off the track. Wow. What happened there?
Russman has decided to let Smoke go. He went off the racing line, and then he went really aggressive on the racing line again in front of Sunboy. But it looks like he overshoots a little bit and went off track. So I think both Russman and Sunboy might need a fresh set of underwear after this race, because that must have been scary for both of them. But it didn't work exactly what he was trying to do, because he was trying to stay in front of Sunboy, but because the move was just a bit too aggressive. And now Sunboy got the move done as well, so he needs to... he lost some time now to Smoke because of this. So he needs to find another 2/10s, but he is going for it. You can see the time dropping down. So it looks to me like Sunboy is just a little bit faster on race pace than Smoke, but Smoke still is the front. He has the track position, and that's mighty important.
So just as just have a quick update in terms of championship. And right now, if it finished like this, Tarak would still take the lead of this championship. But Smoke right now would drop into second place instead of third. He'll be on 87 points with Tarak on 93, and he'll have Easty Mats who starting to fall away in 81. But here comes Smoke. Is he going to try the move now? No. I think this is sensible from Smoke. Don't do it now. Get good traction out of the chicane here, and then ERS, DRS, get the move done now. DRS is open. Here he comes. Can Smoke get the move done on Easty for fourth place? Easty's not going to give this up. Side by side through the corner. Easty stays wide. Smoke on the inside. Here comes Smoke, the Mercedes driver. Is he going to take fourth place? He does take fourth place, but Easty Mats is not giving up, and he has to eventually. And Smoke Mark into P4. That will change the championship order slightly, but right now Tarak will keep the lead of this championship. But can Keza do him a favour and go and take that first place off Tarak and drop him to second place? It's almost 3 seconds.
Wow, we are in for a treat at the last couple of laps of this race. And so is Sunboy, because he is on fire and he is already right up the back of Easty Mats, and he will need to get a move done as soon as possible, because otherwise Smoke will just be running away again, and he will need to close the gap again, and he is running out of laps to get closer to Smoke. So Sunboy is having a really good exit here. So, but there is some DRS for Easty Mats. Is Sunboy going for it? He's going up to the inside. He's going up the inside of Easty Mats. He's late on the braking and no lockups whatsoever, and he got the move done. Well done for Sunboy, and now he needs to stay as close as possible to Smoke, but he doesn't have the DRS if I'm correct. No, he doesn't. So can Easty Mats get back on Sunboy immediately? He is closing in now, but it's just not enough to get it done.
This could really dent the hopes of Easty Mats' championship tonight. As we got a yellow flag in sector 3.
Russman.
I
it's
don't
Russman.
see who. Oh, Russman. Oh no.
Russman lost control.
I didn't see what happened there,
but
Malc.
he lost control of the car, and he was spun around, I think. But he is right on the track again. I don't think there's any damage for Russman, but of course it's not what you want, and the tires will be overheated. And we see another in sector 3, and I think that's JP. JP lost a car there as well.
So just riding on board with Keza, he can now see Tarak ahead of him. 1.9 seconds between the pair of them. We're on lap 23 of 29. I would say right now, Keza is looking favourite. I don't think Tarak is going to have much of an answer if Keza gets within DRS, but Keza lost a few tenths there through the chicane, and it's crept back up to 2.2, and that's what Tarak needs. He needs to try and find time through areas of the track where Keza is struggling, but a time penalty now for Tarak, and this could be curtains for him. Keza's really starting to put pressure, but he's just lost the last few corners. He's lost a few tenths here and there, which he doesn't need, and he's all over the curb there. He's going to lose even more time, Keza, there, surely. He's run wide again, so he's really hustling now, trying to catch up to the back of Tarak, but it's been a scruffy last sector for Keza. He's still within fighting chance, but I think he could have been a bit closer if it weren't for a few of those corners. But Keza not giving up, 1.9 seconds now. What are you thinking, Mark? Can he get this done? It's going to be very close. It's going to be
really close, but there's one massive thing in benefit for Tarak. He has saving up his ERS while Keza is completely emptying his battery. So once they get close enough to race each other on track, Tarak will have the ERS to play with. Meanwhile, Keza won't have it. So that's an interesting factor, and the mediums from Keza will wear down now. They will start to wear down, so the gap is closing down. Will it be enough for him? He needs to get it done now, otherwise he might be a little bit too late. And I believe you mentioned the time penalty for Tarak, which isn't showing on my screen, so that's...
No, I said if Tarak got a penalty, it could prove crucial because he's under the 3 seconds. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But I'm saying it would be a nightmare, wouldn't it? If you're in this position now and you pick up a silly time penalty, this could really ruin your race. That's what I was hinting at. But it looks like Tirac is managing that gap. Meanwhile, Mark, just going back to the fight for P4, Smoke in P4 is not a done deal here. Sunboy was briefly ahead of Smoke, wasn't he, before the pit stops? He's wanting to rectify that and get back ahead of Smoke for P4 again. Sunboy putting Smoke under all sorts of pressure. Can Smoke hang on for these remaining few laps?
Yeah, it will be difficult for him. Because in kind of the same situation as Tirac and Kessa, Sunboy has managed the ERS better than Smoke has done it. So Sunboy has more to play with, has some little bit more power on the straights if he wants to. So I think we will see a move pretty soon from Sunboy, and they are closing in on Ginger Tiger as well. The gap is only 1.8 of a seconds now, and it was just over 2 seconds some laps ago. But I think it might be a little bit too much to ask, but you never know. But
here comes Sunboy.
Is he waiting? No, he's going for it already.
He burnt through a lot of ERS to get that move done, and he got it done, Mark. But can Smoke come back at him? I don't think he can, because Smoke has no ERS at all. He's trying to use some, but no ERS, and I think P5, he'll have to stay there, Mark. So Smoke down to P5 there. Sunboy, can Sunboy catch Ginger Tiger? Because Sunboy seemingly does have better pace this evening. So what can Sunboy do now?
Yeah,
he's in
that's the
P4.
question. He got around 30% of ERS left in his Alpine car. Meanwhile, Ginger Tiger is around the 15% mark. The gap. Oh no! Smoke lost the car. Smoke lost control of his car. Spun around. The car is still in one piece, if I'm correct, but he spun around and dropped to P6. Oh, that's unlucky for him. He lost the position to East teammates. Luckily for him, it's only one position, but still, it's crucial points in this title fight. And look at that, Aaron. Look at Sunboy. He just closed Ginger Tiger down by half a second in only half a lap. So he will be trying to get this final podium position, I think.
Wow, that in terms of the championship could be massive. Easty Mats now ahead of Smoke. Smoke, what is this going to do for Smoke and his championship? This could be crucial at the end, but look at the front, Mark. Keza is tantalisingly close to getting within DRS of Tirac, but is it a little too late here? Can Tirac hang on, or can Keza somehow find just enough to get within DRS to attack Tirac on the last few laps? It is very close now. He doesn't want to be too eager, does he, now, and go deep into corners and be greedy on curves and stuff. He just wants to keep driving what he's doing, and he will eventually get within DRS. Tirac hanging on here to a very, very important win, especially seeing his teammate, his championship rival, down the order. So what can Keza do? But meanwhile, look, Sunboy now within DRS of Ginger Tiger.
Yes, he is within the DRS range, and he closed that 2-second gap down really, really quickly. So I think it's a matter of time before we see Sunboy getting the move done on Ginger Tiger. I think we could see it on the DRS straight this lap already. And look at Kessa, he is really close, and he might have the DRS on the second straight if he can stay close. But I think Tirac is using a little bit of ERS there on the straights to open up the gap a bit more.
It's so close, isn't it, Mark? I don't know where to look here. You don't know whether to look at Keza or look at Sunboy. I'd say right now Sunboy is the battle to watch. Just 0.4 of a second. He dispatched Smoke quite nicely with his ERS. He's going to use some ERS surely here to try and get past Ginger. No, he's not using any ERS, which is an interesting strategy. Maybe thinking that he's not quite close enough to get the move done on Ginger Tiger. So he'll wait and try again the next lap perhaps, but Sunboy getting ever so closer now to getting on the podium this evening, getting to talk to us after the race. Meanwhile, Keza just can't get within that DRS, can he? He's 1.3 seconds still to Tirac, We're on the penultimate lap now, Mark. Can Tirac hang on to this win?
I think he can. I think he is just managing now, and Kessa, his tires will be at the end of the lifespan, and Tirac has a little bit more life in his tires left, so I think it's just a little bit too late for Kessa. But who knows? There's still 1.5 lap to go. So I'm ready for it. Come on, bring that fireworks. And I'm sure Sunboy is trying to bring exactly that, because they are coming up to the first DRS straight now, and the gap is only 0.4 of a second. The DRS will open now. Will he get the move done now, or will he wait for the second DRS straight? We didn't see Sunboy waiting in the other attempts he did. No, he is waiting now. He is really close now to the Aston Martin. How is the exit of Sunboy here? Is looking good. It's looking good for him. The gap is only 0.3 now. He's closing down. I'm sure he's using his ERS now. He's emptying the battery. Yeah, there he goes round the outside of Ginger Tiger. Ginger Tiger will try to stay there, of course. And he managed to stay in front of Sunboy. Whoa, brilliant racing for the two of them.
Meanwhile, there's great racing between Kuipers and Russman for P9 and P10. Russman trying to defend from Kuipers, but Kuipers gets the move done. Enes is trying his hardest to also attack at Russman, so Russman drops down to P10. Coming back at Kuipers, he's going to try it round the outside of Kuipers, but Kuipers manages to hang on in there. Enes, meanwhile, also trying. There's a great battle here for P9, P10, in 11 there between these three guys, and no moves going to be done through the hotel sections, and they're just going to have to play it safe. So we're on the final lap, Mark, and Keza, I don't think is going to get it done, is he? He's still not within DRS. Meanwhile, Sunboy, can he get it done on this final lap? Ginger Tiger's defending nicely, but Sunboy seemingly, surely, has got the better pace here to get the move done with DRS.
Let's see if he can get it done now. Yes, they are on the first DRS side. Sunboy goes on the inside of Ginger Tiger. He tried it before, but he backs out of it, and now he gets the move done. But Ginger Tiger will have the DRS on the second part of this DRS straight. So this will be crucial for Sunboy to keep him behind, to claim this podium in tonight's race. Can he do it? He is defending the inside line compared to Ginger Tiger. Ginger Tiger is going around the outside of Sunboy. Oh, who will stay on top? I think it's Sunboy. Oof. Sunboy is still in front, but Ginger Tiger is not giving up. And he is still there, he's still there. And now it's time for Sunboy to go. But Tirac crossing the line now to claim this race win. What a brilliant victory for him. And Kessa finishes in P2. Brilliant race from both of them. And there we see them. Sunboy and Ginger Tiger both crossing the line out. Sunboy, congrats on the podium. You fought hard for it, well deserved. And Ginger Tiger in P4, amazing race as well. Easty Mats takes home P5 and Smoke in P6. He won't be too happy with that, although he's wobbling his car a little bit to, well, I was going to say to celebrate, but I'm not sure if that's the correct word for him. Simon into P7, then we need to wait a little bit for Trems. There he is, crossing the line in P8. Kuipers in P9, Russman in P10, and we have Enes in P11.
Well, it's a good job that Keza didn't get any sort of move done at the end, because he picked up a time penalty right at the end. So if he did manage to get any sort of move done on Tirac, it wouldn't have made a difference. But big congratulations to Tirac. He got under all sorts of pressure, held on to that race victory. Keza looked lightning fast all night, but just couldn't quite get close enough to the Haas driver. So that is the 4th win mark of Tirac's season, and he now takes the lead of this championship. It's been a hell of a drive from him in the last few races. Tirac, you would have to say, on this current form, is the favourite for this championship now. Smoke struggling again tonight. With that spin as well, he's going to have to come back in Miami next week.
He needs to, because his lead in the title is gone now. And Tirac, he is on fire right now. And for this race, so is Kessa. Kessa with the fastest lap as well, taking P2. That's amazing. And of course, Sunboy in P3 he started P10, Ellen. P10, and he got himself all the way up to P3. That's an amazing result. And I believe we are trying to get all the drivers in for the interviews, and I think everyone is in. So I would say take it away, Ellen.
So we'll start with tonight's race winner. Congratulations, Tarak. You went off into the lead. You let everybody fight behind. It got a bit close towards the end, though. Keza looked like he had mega pace, but you just somehow held on. You are now also the championship leader. How are you feeling?
Oh my God, mate, what a race. I didn't see Keza. Where did he come from? I was like cruising, like I had a little bit of a gap to Ginger Tiger. I think he was on hards, and yeah, Keza with the mediums, he kept pushing me till the end. He got a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately, but yeah. Anyways, it was a good one, leading the championship. Yeah, let's see.
Was your tactic at the start to try and just get out in front and build a gap from the guys behind and hope they battle like they did and stay out of the DRS from them?
Mate, that's the dream of anyone in pole position, mate. You want everyone to battle, to lose time. You want to keep pushing, keep a gap like 3 or 4 seconds so you don't get undercut. And yeah, keep managing the pace. The tires, sometimes the tires were overheating, so it was a little bit of issue, especially on mediums. But yeah, really happy with it.
Well, congratulations. Anyway, that is a fantastic result.
Thank you, mate.
For yourself, and now championship leader. So we'll move on to Keza. Good evening, Keza. Superb race from yourself. That is only a second podium of the season, but it was almost another win for yourself this season. Was it just a case of track just had that little bit and you just couldn't quite build it at the end? Hello?
Oh, I'm here. I had my mic on mute.
No, it's fine. No worries. We're all good. So, yeah, as I was just saying, basically, you looked really fast all evening in qualifying and in the race. You looked like you were going to reel Tarak in, but did he just have that little bit just to keep you off taking that win tonight?
Yeah, pretty much. I think round lap 24, my tyres started to go off. So it's the thing with the mediums. After like what 8-9 laps, once they get up to about 50%, they're gone. But yeah, I think I ended up 7/10 behind by the end. Obviously, with that 3-second penalty, I just got a bit complacent. But yeah, I thought it could work. I tried it, but I did well, I think.
Yeah, you certainly did. You had great pace throughout, and we thought you were going to get it, but unfortunately, just not quite close. But in the end, second place is a brilliant result. So congratulations to you on that second place. Well, we'll move to Sunboy. The game gave you driver of the day. I'd probably put it between any of you three as driver of the day. You looked like you had really strong pace throughout, mainly battling smoke, what seemed like an eternity. How are you feeling after the race, starting from P10 to finish on the podium in P3?
Yeah, of course I'm happy to finish at the podium, but yeah, the start was bad. I was P12 at the start, and then I just moved my way up, and especially battling with smoke, and at the end with Ginger Tiger. So yeah. Luckily, it ended all well because I also had a little incident with Rossman. He let his teammate pass, but then he came back on the racing line just in front of me. But luckily, I had no damage, so I could move forward and yeah, go into P3.
Yeah, talking of that battle for P3, between yourself and Ginger Tiger, you certainly were pushing yourselves all the way through. Did you think you were going to struggle to get past Ginger at one point? Because Ginger looked like he was really battling his hardest to hold on to that P3, but in the end, you just had enough to get past him to steal it.
Yeah, I messed up the lap before to overtake him because on the first straight I was using all my energy, but I wasn't sure if I could make it or not. So I tried to do it on the second straight, but I messed up my exit. So I had to do it on the last lap, and luckily I had just enough energy to get past him. And yeah, I after the second straight I thought, yeah, just leave him no room and try to don't crash into the wall.
Well, it certainly worked. So congratulations on that third place. You drove superbly tonight to get yourself up onto the podium, and we'll move back to Iraq. Even easy enough for me to say. We've got 2 races to go. We're off to Miami. How are you feeling now? You're going into the next race as our current championship leader.
I'm really glad I won this race because I'm really bad in Miami. It's a really hard track for me, especially because it's a new layout. But yeah, let's see. With 2 races left, some good points or a podium, I think do it. And yeah.
Well, congratulations, guys. Thank you for joining us this evening. And Mark, we've only got 2 races left to go now. As Tirak has just said, Miami is next, the tricky new layout track. What is going to happen in this championship? Because seemingly something different changes every week. We've now got a new championship leader. What is going to happen in Miami next week? I do not know.
Nah, I don't know. I have no clue. It's going to be incredibly close. That's one thing I know for sure. And first of all, big congrats to Tirach, Kessa, and Sunboy. Amazing race tonight. And yeah, for Miami, it's a tricky track. You know, you got the really high speed, the long straights. But then you have that sector 3, which is highly technical and really slow. So it will be interesting to see what wing setup the guys will use and things like that. But for now, this was an amazing race, amazing evening, and well, a new championship leader onto the final 2 races of this season, and it's as close as possible in the standings. So what more can we wish for? If you're watching right now, please leave a like for the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to tune in tomorrow as well for our tier 3 drivers who will do the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix as well. And then of course Thursday with a realistic performance. Make sure to check them out as well. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye bye.